I don't feel safe. I don't trust anyone.
She's from Guadalajara, Mexico, and asked that we hide her identity. We'll call her Lucia. She's serving the second half of a 2-year sentence at the San Joaquin County Jail for possession of a controlled substance for sale.
I got hurt.
She says after she was injured in jail last September, Sheriff's Deputy Daniel Swanson drove her to a medical exam at the hospital.
He told me that I was pretty. I said thanks. That was it, and he took me back. I didn't think anything of it at the time.
But at her next appointment, she says Swanson got physical.
My examination room had a curtain. When the nurses left, he opened it. And while I was handcuffed, he placed my hands by his private parts. When the nurses came, he pretended to be having a hard time removing my handcuffs.
Lucia says after the appointment, Swanson was the only officer there to take her back to the jail.
He took a dirt road. Then he parked in a corner and got close to me. There was nobody around. He was insinuating that he wanted to have sex. I thought about getting out of the car and running away from him. But I said to myself, what if he shoots me? I won't be able to see my kids anymore.
So Lucia kept silent. But she says after another appointment, Swanson stopped and showed her naked photos of himself on his phone.
After a while, I said to myself, if I don't say something, it could happen to others. So I gave it a lot of thought, and then I decided to go to an officer and tell her what happened. That same night, the detectives arrived.
Danny Swanson.
Deputy Swanson, a 16-year veteran of the department, has been charged with felony assault by a public officer and misdemeanor sexual battery. He's currently on paid administrative leave, wearing an ankle monitor.
Mr. Swanson, where your pleas of not guilty today denying any enhancements?
Swanson's lawyer did not respond to our requests for an interview.
There's actually a long history of sexual victimization of women in custody.
Brenda Smith is a professor of law at American University. She served on the Prison Rape Elimination Commission, a task force created to protect inmates from rape.
They experience rape. They experience viewing of them while they are nude, touching, improper searches.
The latest data from the Department of Justice shows reports of sexual victimization of inmates by staff have more than tripled in a 5-year period, from just over 4,000 to more than 14,000. The number of substantiated reports rose from 433 cases to 619, up 43%. Dr. Smith says the task force failed to issue guidelines for one key area, transporting inmates. She urges each facility to create its own safety standards.
Do you think the commission should have enacted some sort of policy recommendations when it comes to transporting inmates?
Yes, I do.
The San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office declined our interview requests, citing the pending litigation. In a statement, Sheriff Steve Moore said, "Our investigators and the DA's office worked diligently to seek justice, and we will continue to do so in the future."
When I talked to this lady, I seen the emotion in her eyes, the pain that she had.
Attorney Stanley Goff is suing Deputy Swanson, Sheriff Steve Moore, and the county on behalf of Lucia.
The egregiousness of what happened. It was a sexual assault, sexual battery case upon an inmate from a deputy who had all this power over her.
Lucia says there are many more women like her, suffering sexual abuse in silence.
They have the same fear I had. Nobody will say anything.
Lucia has filed a federal lawsuit seeking $2 million in damages from the county. The county attorney has asked for that suit to be dismissed against Sheriff Steve Moore and the county, stating in part that they were not participants in the sexual abuse. With the investigative unit, I'm Vicky Nguyen.
Thanks, Vicky. If you have a story for our investigative unit, give us a call, 888-996-TIPS. You can also visit our website, NBCBayArea.com/investigations.